In the first example, James has invested an inheritance of $30,000 in a perpetuity paying 7.8% per annum interest. How much does he receive per fortnight? First thing we need to do is assume interest is calculated and the payments made are both fortnightly, as we're not told otherwise. We're trying to calculate how much he receives per fortnight, so the payment, which is Q. So Q equals PR over 100, where P is $30,000. And R, remember R is the interest rate per time period, so that's per fortnight, so it's 7.8 divided by 26, because there's 26 fortnights in a year, all over 100. So we can calculate that, which gives us $90. We can also solve this problem on our TVM solver. If you haven't already got it on compound interest, which you probably have, click compound interest. What we're trying to find here is the repayment amount, so that's PMT. It doesn't matter what value we put in for N, let's just call that 1. I is the interest rate per annum, that's different to in the formula, so 7.8. PV is the investment, which is $30,000, and I'm making it negative because we're putting that money in. PMT is what we're trying to find out. FV is the future value, and that's $30,000 because it's the same. Make it the different sign, so make that positive. And payments are made fortnightly, so that's 26 times a year. And then we click PMT, regular payment is $90. It doesn't actually matter what you put in as N, as we can see here. Still 90 if N is 5, if N is 100, PMT is still $90. In the second example, Sarah is receiving a payment of $450 each month from a perpetuity of $120,000. What is the interest rate being paid per annum? So in this case, we're trying to work out what R is. When we work out R, we're going to actually be working out what the interest rate is per time period, so per month. So we need to calculate R, and then we're going to times it by 12 to get the interest rate per annum. So R is 100Q over P. So it's 100 times the repayment, so 100 times 450, all over the amount invested, so or the perpetuity, which is $120,000. Which comes out to be 0.375. That's the interest rate per month. We then need to times that by 12 to get the interest rate per annum. So 0.375 times 12 equals 4.5% per annum. We can also do this on our TVM solver. What we're trying to find out is I. So N, we can put in any value, just keep it as 1. PV is negative 120,000. PMT is 450. Future value 120,000. The interest is being paid and the payments are being made per month, so 12 and 12, and work out R, and it gives us 4.5%. A scholarship is set up to award the top maths student who's going to receive a prize of $500. If the interest is 2.7% per annum, compounded annually, how much should be invested? Here we are trying to find out how much should be invested, which is P. We can't use our TVM solver because we don't know P, so we wouldn't be able to know PV or FV. What we can use, however, is the perpetuity formula, where P is 100Q over R. Q is 500, so 100 times 500. R is the interest rate per time period, and it's being compounded annually, so that's the interest rate per year, which is 2.7%. That works out to be $18,518.52. The last example is Craig wins $1 million in the lottery and decides to place it in a perpetuity which pays at 5.75% per annum interest, which is being compounded monthly. What fortnightly repayment does he receive? Notice interest is being compounded monthly and the payments paid out fortnightly. So the perpetuity formula does not work. So we have to use the TVM. Here we're trying to find the fortnightly repayment, so PMT. N doesn't matter what we put in, just can put in 1. I is the interest rate per time period, which is 5.75. PV, the amount that's going into the bank, $1 million. PMT, we don't know. FV, the amount we get out, which is the same, so $1 million. PY is the amount of payments made per year, which is 26. And CY is the amount of times interest is compounded, which is different to PY this time, which is 12. So PMT is $2,208.69. So Craig receives $2,208.69 per fortnight.